The glorious GMMK Numpad Premium Wireless Macropad. That's on the website. Now, I pre-ordered this back in August of this year, pretty much whenever I think batch 1 pre-order came live, and I received it about a week and a half ago, so beginning of October of 2022. So I've been using it for about a week or so, and in this video I want to give my thoughts on the numpad, and I also want to do a teardown. Plus, we're going to do a sound test on how the numpad sounded right out of the box. Also, after I swap out the switches and put different keycaps on. I will have timestamps on the video itself, so you can just skip to the part that you are most interested in. So let's get started on the unboxing. Out of the box, the GMMK Numpad comes very nicely packaged, I must say. I got the silver version here, which they call the white ice. I think that's the keycaps is white. There, it's got some nice weight to it. Nice little accessory box here. As you can see, braided USB cable. Pretty standard glorious stuff if you ever buy their products before. Extra gaskets for the numpad. That's a nice addition. Also, there is an extra pack of screws in there, just in case you need them. And it comes with the keycap puller and a switch puller and some sticker. Now let's hear a sound test real quick when it first out of the box. Out of the box, the numpad comes with their own glorious Fox linear switches. There are 4 screws in the back to remove the top frame. Now, you can see that there are gaskets that are pre-installed on the back of the frame. Now remember the box, they did provide some extra gaskets for you if you want them. The PCB is connected via a daughter board. Very nice touch from Glorious. The bottom of the case has a thin case foam pad that helps dampen the sound of the numpad. The battery sits underneath it that provides wireless Bluetooth functionality. The plate is connected to the PCB via 6 screws. The 2 in the middle has a small tape over them. As you can see, there is a nice plate foam to further the sound dampening of the numpad. The stabilizer comes factory lube. I assume these are their so-called GSV2 stabs. They are screw-ins. That's another nice touch to include. Personally, I think the stems and the wires are both nicely lubed from the factory. Therefore, I did not bother to clean them for relubing. Now, once I put everything back together, I want to make a small mention on the interchangeable badge. The top frame does need to come off, and you will need a screwdriver to unscrew it. It's a cool little badge that it comes with though. As of now, the only other badge option is gold, which can be added for $10 extra. Now, there are also different slider colors, rotary knob colors, and also top frames. By the way, they all cost extra. You can also get a south-facing art PCB for an extra $20. For this build, I decided to go with the hand lube Glorious Panda switches. I'm hoping to have the numpad to have a nice thocky sound along with a good sense of tactility. For the keycaps, I went with the Akko Matcha red beans. The color complements the Numpad well in my opinion. Let's go ahead and do a sound test on the final build. I will put the stock sound test from earlier afterwards, just for comparison's sake. Personally, I think the Numpad is a great product from Glorious, no doubt. However, I do have some issues with it at this point, and it has to do with their core software. Now, as of this recording, the slider can only be programmed to control alternate audio source, which seems very limited to me. I would love to see it to have the ability to zoom in and out on Excel, just as an example. Also, the key binding and macro process is not very intuitive when it compared to other companies' software, such as Razer or Logitech, especially the way it performs layer shift, which can only cycle through layers. The software needs to provide a way for us to shift layer by holding a button, like Razer's Hypershift. Well, for now, I use the Num Plus shortcut to switch between layers. The different color RGB that I have set up on Cool indicates which layer I'm on. Since I mainly use this blue layer here as like an Excel pad for my work. By the way, the RGB and the key binding does save on the Numpad itself. No software is needed once it's set up. If Glorious is serious about competing with the big companies such as Razer, Logitech, SteelSeries, Corsair, and HyperX, the core software needs a complete overhaul. But that is just my opinion and my opinion only. In conclusion, should you get the GMMK Numpad as opposed to something cheaper like this Dharma Shark Numpad that I picked up on Amazon for $30? Good Numpad, provides all your basic functions, has, believe it or not, a 5-pin hot swap board, which you can use pretty much any switch on there. Pretty nice. Well, as of right now, due to the software limitations, if you just want to have a Numpad that does your basic functions, I think the GMMK at $130, it is overpriced for that purpose. Now, if having a macro pad is important to you, the wireless capability is important, and you like to have the ability to customize the physical board itself, I do think the GMMK Numpad is worth the $130 asking price. Yes, I realize you can buy the GMMK2, a fully built keyboard, for less than the cost of this Numpad. And yes, I do realize there are other cheaper options out there. But I do not think it's fair to bash a product strictly based on pricing, since the monetary worth of a product is subjective for everyone. Now, as for me, I'll be using this Numpad for work, and hopefully it can make my life easier as I'm working on Excel. Well, only time will tell. I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you truly liked the video, please hit that like button for me, and have a great rest of your day.
I know you gotta push this video today, but what am I? Yeah.